All right, today we're diving into one of the weirdest, most challenging, but also kind of fascinating textual worlds you'll ever stumble across. It's the work of Magalhães Duarte, or MMD, and it's this universe that's built entirely from fragments, from accusations, and from a private philosophy that seems to run on its own completely unique logic. So let's pull back the curtain and see what we can find.
Okay, let me just start with a question for you. How in the world do you get the name Superman from the Portuguese phrase incrível pena, which just means incredible feather? I mean, it seems impossible, right? But stick with me, because by the end of this explainer, not only will you know the answer, but you'll actually understand the strange system that makes it all click into place.
So the first thing that hits you when you step into this world is the language. It's just raw, it's combative. You see phrases like bonitinho bosta, or pretty boy shit, and they're just hurled out like weapons. It's disorienting, it's aggressive, and right away you're thinking, what on earth is going on here?
And then there's stuff like this, these fragments that read like a broken code. Código TEM, Código Bolero, Código Efuro. So you've got to wonder, right? Is this just total chaos, or is there actually a system here? Some kind of logic that we're just not seeing it?
Okay, so luckily for us, we're not going in totally blind. We have a guide. It's a critical analysis from the publisher IP das Letras, and it's basically our Rosetta Stone for this whole thing. They call the work a deliberately nonlinear textual collage. And that description, man, that's our first big clue.
So what does a nonlinear collage even mean here? Well, what the analysis tells us is that MMD basically throws all the rules of traditional writing out the window. Instead, he uses things like stream of consciousness, so the text feels like a direct download from a mind that is always in motion. It's like philosophy, a personal diary, and a manifesto all got thrown into a blender.
So, how do we even start to map this fractured world? Well, we begin with its two fundamental building blocks, what MMD himself calls image and thought.
And this gives you a real feel for that structure. See, this isn't a story in the way we think of one. The analysis calls it a textual database, and that's the perfect way to describe it. You see these long, cascading lists of keywords, always in all caps, almost like an inventory of reality. You've got games, technology, life and death, biology, finance, crime. These are like the fundamental building blocks, the atoms of his entire universe.
And right at the philosophical heart of this whole database, there's this core tension. It's a conflict between what MMD calls the image and the thought. This battle, this conflict, is basically the engine that makes the whole thing run.
Okay, here's the best way to think about it. The image, that's like the perfect original source code for reality itself. He calls it a pattern of high standard. And the thought, that's the program you need to run to actually access that source code, to connect with its truth. Everything, and I mean everything in his world, revolves around that relationship.
So this whole abstract idea flows directly into the central conflict of the entire work. And believe me, this isn't just a philosophical debate for MMD, it's a war. A lone creator fighting to defend his original image from a world he's convinced is just trying to copy and corrupt it.
You know, the analysis really points this out, how he builds this incredibly strong persona in the text. He's always the I in the text. He's a victim, sure, but he's also the inventor, the creator, and the judge. He's this one guy standing up against what he sees as this huge, oppressive, and greedy system.
So who exactly is in this system he's fighting against? Well, the list of the guilty is extensive. It's the population, it's society, it's NASA, even God, the internet, any other companies, and get this, even his own father and mother. I mean, he's seeing a conspiracy on a truly cosmic scale, and he believes they're all out to steal his work. And the accusations he makes, they're just so raw and unfiltered. It's almost like you're reading these panicked messages as he's writing them. Wanting to steal the books, plagiarism, they made the astronaut theory, wanting the food, they invaded my bank account. You can almost feel the paranoia, right? It's like he's documenting a crime as it happens.
Okay, and this brings us right back to that bizarre question from the beginning. How do you get Superman from incrível pena? This is where MMD shows his hand. He thinks others stole his work to create superheroes, and the proof is hidden in his own name. It's wild. Look at how his mind connects these dots. He takes the S from his name, Marcos. He combines it with the P from pena. SP becomes super. Then he says the end of pena inverts to become man. Put it all together, Superman. To him, this isn't some funny coincidence. No way. This is proof. It's a code. He genuinely believes his own identity is the secret sauce for all of global pop culture.
So, okay, if the world is running on what he sees as corrupt, stolen code, what's the solution? Well, MMD didn't just complain about it. He built his own system, a brand new operating system for reality, laid out in 70 specific formulas.
And that number, 70, that's important. This wasn't just a few random notes scribbled down. We're talking about a comprehensive, numbered system here. It's a deliberate, methodical attempt to build a complete instruction manual for mastering that critical connection between thought and image.
And look, it's easy to just dismiss this as random ramblings, but the critics, they see something more. They frame these formulas as a philosophical corpus and a poetic proposal for reprogramming the world. So in other words, this is his master user manual for existence, mixing science, spirituality, and this unique kind of mental program.
So what do these formulas actually look like? Well, they read like commands you'd give to a computer, but for your own mind. Formula 3, imagine the light. Formula 12, connect the thought to the image. Formula 61 is just telepathy. He's giving literal instructions, all aimed at achieving this one recurring goal, Victoria Limpa, a clean victory over that corrupt system he's fighting.
So after all that, the codes, the accusations, the 70 formulas, what does it all add up to? Ultimately, I think it's about the sheer power of creation as an answer to a world that feels, well, totally alienating and corrupt.
And in the end, what are we really looking at here? The critical analysis gives us this really powerful final thought. It says that MMD's work is a testimony of creative potency as a form of resistance. By building his own logic, his own language, his own reality, he's basically refusing to be erased by the system that he feels is closing in on him.
Which really leaves us with one big question to chew on. Whether you see this as a brilliant coded text or the map of a troubled mind, it forces us to ask, in a world that can feel chaotic, a world that often feels like it's being forced on us, at what point does building your very own world become the ultimate act of defiance?